What's going on? Whitetail therapy. Brandon as always. Got Lexi out of Jeep Purgatory. She's been in the shop for over a month. Oddball electrical issues that I could not resolve for myself. Despite trying for, I don't know, weeks on end and several $1,000s invested. Anyway, she's running electrically, although I probably will return it back to the shop here very soon. Got some suspension issues going on that I'm going to tie back to the shop. I had some work done and I think it got done quite well. Anyway, get that. We are going to come out here. It is actually, it's still June the 1st. I actually shot a video earlier today on some arrows, and it's a really nice afternoon. It's like just shy of 80 degrees, and since I got the Jeep back finally, thought I'd come do a little ride around and just come look at a few things. Wish I'd done some recording. I had a bunch of does out. A lot of deer out running around today. But anyway, I actually drove by to look at this spot where I hung the camera up back in the spring, because this is that inventory spot that I have that I hang a camera at. That's real close to the road. And when I drove by here, I didn't see my camera strap on the tree. So we're going to walk in here real fast just to confirm what I am suspecting. And it appears that my suspicions are correct. Trying to keep most of my landmarks non-visible here. Granted, I don't think that I'm going to have enough followers or people even watch this damn video to care to tip off one of my spots, but I prefer to keep this spot. Well, it's not a spot, it's the inventory place for a camera. I prefer to keep it more unknown. So the more I can make it look like just woods, the better off. Anyway, all that being said, my suspicions are confirmed, and camera's not here. If you'll recall, I said something to the effect of, got one spot that I always put a camera on every single year. It's right on the side of the road. It's just a really super tight funnel. The deer funnel through there really, really well, so I can get lots of inventory pictures right there. I've been pretty fortunate thus far. I've done it 3 years in a row and haven't got a camera stolen yet. And as you can see, there's no camera there. Well, can't win them all. That is a gamble you take on public ground. I really felt good about this. I hadn't lost one here before, but oh well. Now the question is do I roll the dice again? I want to feel, well, I know it had to have been a turkey hunter, or more than likely a turkey hunter, because I had a camera out since the week before turkey season. And I suspect, see, I actually drove by here, it's probably been over a month ago now because the Jeep's been down. When I drove by here the first time and thought that strap, I couldn't see that camera strap on the tree. So, well, yeah, so I feel very, very confident this was stole during turkey season. Oh well. So the question is now, do I put it back up? I really, really like to keep inventory on the spot because you catch, especially early in the year, you get a lot of velvet deer here. But it is definitely rolling the dice on whether or not it'll still be here. I think I'm going to roll the dice on it again, though. The trails in here are actually really, really good. I wish you could see them a little better, but the trails in there are actually really good. Coming out of the woods over there, and so they're using this for sure. Yeah, we're gonna roll the dice on it. Let's put her, let's get her put back on a tree. Maybe a different tree, maybe one that's not quite so visible, and get back with you. So, rehung there. What I did do was put this big stick here, so as you drive by here from the road, it won't be near as obvious. And I'm hoping maybe a little bit of the camo face paint I stuck on that tree strap will make it not look quite so obvious either. So, just a thought there. Let me actually lay this stick here up here as well to help break it outline up some. So, we'll step back here. We'll take a look at it from road distance and see what we think. Back out here now at road distance, and let's see, it's that tree right there. Yeah, no clue. Totally invisible. So maybe it'll be good this time. Maybe it won't get stolen. Anyway, without too much fear of landmarks, we'll walk down here to the Jeep. I actually want to check one more thing while I'm here. So this is right directly across the road from where that tight funnel is. As you can see through this wall of fragmite here, and I mean a wall, there's a very definite trail. And probably if you walk up here to the water's edge, it's softer, you'll probably pick out a few tracks in there. So, and you can see, if you can get in there and see or not, on the other side, a much more obvious tunnel. What we may do as a plan B is drive back around, and I'll put a camera on the back side of that. Now, odds are we're going to see the exact same deer, or not even all the deer, but there's still a very obvious trail where they're coming across the road from that other funnel and shooting it across there. Now, that funnel is very obvious on the map. That spot, unless you're looking for it, is not near as obvious. And what's on the back side of that is a very, very small finger wood between two roads, which I've, in my experience of work hunting here for the last 3 or 4 years, I've never seen a soul hunting that. So, that could be a very good overlook spot, especially early season, before the pressure gets up. Deer funnel out of this bedding area over here, the little finger woods, plus there's several oaks that usually drop early. Could browse feed through there, on down to the very end of this little piece over here. I say the end of this piece. The end of this big finger of woods actually hits a what I'm going to consider to be a primary feeding source here. So there are no ag fields over here. Of course, this public has no ag, but also there's no private ag around here either, not for miles and miles. So these deer are primarily feeding on browse and acorns. So come late September into early October, when the acorns are really starting to fall, the acorns become the primary food source. And right down this finger here hits another wood lot, probably, I'm going to call it 6 or 7 acres, maybe a little more. It's closer to 10 acres. That is full of oak. Some is a I don't know what you even call that now, but it's a thorns invasive species of oak tree, sawtooth oak. And then there are a bunch of black oak in there as well. And this was all planted by the DNR, or was planted by the mining company who owned this prior to that as part of the reclamation process. So this particular lot area, little 10-acre spot, becomes a primary food source. I almost view it as your crop field for a short time window there. So it makes sense that these deer would walk out of that funnel into this little finger. They could browse feed a few of these trees up through there until they get to where there's a surplus of oak trees. So we may very well do that. Maybe hop across here, hang one of these cameras over there real quick and easy like. I did bring a stick, so if I need to, I can hang it high in that particular spot. I don't think there's any risk of losing it or anybody even really seeing it. So we may just hang it low. Yeah. See you in a minute. I ran down the road here a little ways, and we are going to go back in there and put it. This particular camera's got a little wider strap. You know, I could probably get some paracord and tie it off or something, but Oh yeah, that's not stolen. My best friends. Anyway, I'm gonna bring a stick just because, even though I do feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about it. I'm gonna, not getting seen, but that's just a chance I'm not willing to take. So anyway, we're gonna park down the road, probably another 200 yards or so, 100 yards away from where that I'm gonna walk in at, just as a good precautionary measure, not leaving, truck tracks on the side in the grass here to make it super obvious. And well, can everyone hang it up, right? For what appeared to be blatantly obvious from the road, it was much more difficult to find on the backside here. But there it is. Now the question is do I hang this camera just right on the edge of this trail so I can catch every single deer that comes through there? Or should I move it back a few yards and to an area where I can get like a mock scrape put in if I can't get some more still pictures, as opposed to deer probably hopping through there pretty quickly. Stay tuned. All right, so I opted to hang the camera at essentially ground height. We put in a small, quick mock scrape. That's not really a really good one. I prefer to remove all the vegetation. I don't like leaving that much grass and stuff in there. Just from personal experience, I've had really good luck with mock scrapes, but they seem to prefer it when they don't have stuff to get wrapped around their hooves. But anyway, that is just a little quick temporary thing. Maybe they'll slow them down. I opted to hang it. Spider. I opted to hang it somewhere that was actually not just right at the edge of that trail. Walking up to the woods a little ways, I actually saw the trail leading out of here and across to the other road that has a lot of tracks and stuff on it, so I felt pretty good about it. So I backed up 10 yards or so from that trail, and we put it pretty clear open lane right there, the little tiny mock scrape. Oh yeah, this trail's pretty good shape, and feel pretty good about it. Yeah, the trail proceeds across the road to the other side. Not sure how well you can see this. But right in there, the trail cuts up through there pretty good. Kind of hard to tell. Anyway, I feel pretty good about that. And I don't know if that's produced me anything other more than information, which, hey, information's useful, right? I'm not a big early season hunter anyway, but last year, the camera that I had in that tight funnel, if I had chose to velvet hunt, I feel pretty confident I could have killed a deer. I had probably, I don't know, with a bachelor group, 5 or 6 bucks, one of which was a decent shooter, probably a 130-inch deer. And I had laid in there and hunted, I believe I could have killed that deer, or had a good opportunity to anyway. Not him, one of the other, there was one more deer that was, 120 plus. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do so. I don't think you look kind of stupid sitting there on the side of the road like that, but who cares how stupid you look if you're killing deer. Anyway, walk back down here to the truck and probably wrap it up for the day. Shoo, hot. Good stuff. Oh, representing. Anyway, back to the Jeep. Cooling off just a hair, get the air running. One thing I did not do was drop a pin. Voice cracked like I was 13. Drop a pin of those cameras, but I do know exactly where they are on the map, so it's no big deal. I can just drop a pin on the map without being there, and I'll be plenty close. But anyway, like I mentioned earlier, this is June the 1st. This was our official first summer scouting trip of this year. I wouldn't initially call it summer scouting, but got a couple cameras out of the way. I have 2 more places, and I say places, they'll be generalized areas, probably a couple 15 acres a piece or so, that I want to go look at. I've marked them on the map. One of them I marked on the map probably last year I didn't go look at, and one of them I marked on the map this spring or winter while I was just map scouting, both of which are a couple of ridges that dump off into drainage. There's got really good what appears to be bedding based upon the map, evergreen and such pine and things on the high, and then about 2/3 of the way down or so, it's on the ends of the points. It looks like we've got some really good oaks. Once again, using map layers, so I like to go check those out and see. That's the way I like to hunt. It's that mid-October time frame when acreage is starting to fall. But for today, this is going to be it. Just felt good to get back out, just ride around, look. Got to see a few deer. Probably should have got the camera out. Probably made this a little more entertaining. Could work on that. Anyway, so wrap up today. Maybe we'll get back with you soon in the next scouting trip of the year, or I may very well go ahead and just dig out the stands and may do a climbing video. I need to get out there and climb anyway, just to fine tune, make sure, or to finalize my decision on whether or not I want to go with the buckless or no buckles, and get some height tests in, just to kind of give you all an idea of what I'm running, how it looks going up a tree, and then we can talk about some other things in relation to climbing. How fast, how quiet, how important is it really? We can talk about that. All right. See you guys.